I love using what God gave to me. It's so amazing. I can't explain it. Turning hope to reality. Touching your life with mine. Using the gift of my hands to create all I can.
Hello, everyone. I am Faith Godbold from A Touch of Faith. Thank you for watching the replay. I am super excited to be a guest designer tonight on Kat's Creations Facebook page. And I want to welcome the A Touch of Faith YouTube channel. So as you're coming in, make sure you say something so I know you're here, whether you're watching live or later on the replay. And if this is your first time watching me, will you comment the word new? And I look forward to inviting you to become a part of my community. I'm so excited to be here today with you. We're going to create a beautiful Christmas gingerbread wreath tutorial tonight, and I can't wait to see who all is going to tune in. So a couple of things as you're joining us. I'd love to know your city and state. I'm always curious to see how far our broadcasts are reaching. And this is our first time being on Kat's Creations page, and I'm so excited. So y'all, show me some love in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And I would love to invite you to be a part of my community. I have added that link to the comments. It is pinned. faithslinks.com is the fastest way where you can stay connected to me everywhere that I'm on the web. So let's go take a look at the comments and let's see who all is here. And I'll give you an opportunity to come on in. Go ahead and get settled in for a wonderful evening together on this beautiful Friday. So let's see who we have in the comments. Hello, Kat is here. Hey, Kat, I am so happy you are here. Thank you so very much for this awesome opportunity. And I'm so happy to see you. I see Donzell is joining us from my community, Donzell. That really makes my day. Right before I went live, I told my husband, I said, Donzell's probably getting ready to hop on. So thank you for being here. Let's see who else is here. My hubby is here. Thank you. He was so amazing, y'all, because he knows I'm so particular about things. And we were testing things, making sure everything was all set, ready to go. Y'all give Mr. A Touch of Faith a shout out for me. He's joining us over on YouTube. Thank you so much, honey, for being here. And I see, oh my goodness, y'all, let's see who else is here. Miss Betty is here. Thank you, Miss Betty, for joining us. Hello, Carol. How are you doing? I'm so excited to see all of you. My mom has made it in. You all are making my day. I just want to start by saying thank you so much for joining me here on Kat's Creations Facebook page. And I thought I would invite my A Touch of Faith YouTube community to join us. We normally go live on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and also on Tuesdays, but this live tonight is going to take the place of that. So thank y'all for tuning in. And thank you, Kat, for having me. I've actually known Kat since 2018. And I must say that she is an awesome teacher. She is an awesome creator herself. And I'm so thankful that she's allowing me to be on her platform tonight. So you all keep coming in, keep sharing where you're tuning in from. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll just share again if you're just joining. I am Faith Godbold. I am the heart, the soul behind A Touch of Faith. And I love creating beautiful wreaths and bows and gifts. Things that will make your home beautiful, things that will help you learn how to create your own beautiful designs. And so I have, over the past 7 years, I've created a community of both wreath makers and wreath lovers. And so tonight, if you enjoy learning how to make wreaths, I hope I will be sharing some tips and some awesome techniques that maybe you might try for yourself. And you can let me know in the comments if you're able to do that. And then those who are interested in purchasing any of the designs, I will be sharing those links as well as we go through. How does that sound to everyone? Hey, Miss Valerie is here. Hello, Elizabeth. I love it. You all are doing an amazing job. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to dive right in. I'm a teacher by day. I'm actually an educator. And I wanted to share that with you. So I love teaching. I've been a classroom teacher for 17 years. And then I'm now working with other teachers, and I've been doing that for the past 10 years. So teaching just comes quite naturally to me. So we're going to be doing some of that tonight too. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show the materials to you and show you what inspired this design tonight. So as y'all are continuing to come in, don't forget to share where you are joining us from, because I can't wait to see what you are going to say. And if you're joining us for the first time, don't forget to comment the word new and drop a gingerbread emoji if you love gingerbread decor, because guess what? Tonight we are going to make a Christmas gingerbread wreath. And it all started with this sign right here. So y'all take a look at this sign. I actually made this sign yesterday. I was trying to get everything prepped for us, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. It has a gorgeous gingerbread in the center with the little apron on, and she has her little mixing bowl, the mixing spoon. We have some different Christmas embellishments, and it says Baking Spirits Bright. What do y'all think about the sign? And if anyone is interested in this sign, I will go ahead and add that to our comments in case you want to check that out. You are more than welcome to grab that sign. You're going to see it posting right now. And this is what inspired me to create the wreath. Quick story about this wreath. I'll have to go ahead and tell you that I had a customer reach out to me. And y'all, I'm going to turn my fan on because it's getting a little warm now. I had a customer reach out to me who wanted a Christmas design, and when I sent her some choices of what I could make for her, she chose this sign. So this wreath, I've actually sold this one tonight, but if anyone is interested in a wreath with this sign, you can reach out to me on my website. atofaith.com is that address, and you see that on the screen. Okay, all right, so we're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to use an 18-inch base for this particular wreath. In the past, I have also used, this is an evergreen pine base. I love also using the 24-inch, but for this one, because the sign is 8 inches, I thought we would go a little bit smaller with the base, but you could absolutely go larger with the base if you so desired. This one is from my shop. So guess what? Let me grab that link right quick for you as well, in case you are in need of any of these. I just checked. I have quite a bit of these still in stock. And these have been flying off the shelves, y'all. I love decorating for Christmas with these. This is actually what I have on in my enclosed porch. I have one of these. And so what we're going to do to get started is let's go ahead and fluff it out, because as you can see, it's not 18 inches yet. It's sitting right at roughly like 15 inches. So we're going to go ahead and fluff it out. Hey, Miss Jean. Jean says she's first time. I'm loving all the first timers. I saw we have Florida here. Elizabeth, are you saying you want the sign? I love it. And I did not tell you where I'm from, Elizabeth. So I am from Florence, South Carolina. If you have ever heard of like Myrtle Beach, I am in that area. And it is a beautiful city. We're close to Myrtle Beach. If you heard of Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, we're near those other cities as well. But yeah, so for Florence, probably you know Charleston, Greenville. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. And I actually am from a small town called Cheraw, South Carolina. When I graduated from high school, I went to college in Florence, and I loved it so much because my hometown of Cheraw doesn't have a theater, didn't have a mall or anything like that. So I decided I wanted to live here. So I made Florence my home. So that was a great question. Thank you for asking. And I'm going to try to make sure I keep up with the questions while I'm fluffing. I'm going to scroll back. I see Arizona is here as well. Irvina is here. How are you? So we are just fluffing our base. And when you think of fluffing, think of it the way you would your like your Christmas trees. You want to touch each of these little pine branches, and I'm literally just fluffing those out, taking my time, making sure that I give each one of them a little bit of love. You can see that I am separating them. And then once I finish, I'll go back around and just make sure that it looks the way that I want it to look. So let me know in the comments who has already started decorating for Christmas. I know we have Thanksgiving coming up, but y'all, I ran to Hobby Lobby today after I got off work from school because I just wanted to see if there was anything else I wanted to add in this wreath. And oh my gosh, Hobby Lobby had so many people. It was like everyone wanted to grab their Christmas decorations. I could not believe it. Oh my goodness. I did not want to get Hobby Lobby tonight or today. So I made sure that I got exactly what I needed. And then I hurried and got out of there. But yeah, let us know in the comments who has already started decorating for Christmas. Originally, it was in my plan to decorate the week of Halloween. I did not have an opportunity to. I had an in-person vendor event, and so that kept me quite busy, I must say. And so I was not able to get my decorations up. Valerie, I'm actually using a Nebo. And I believe if you go to shoplikefaith.com, I think I have my affiliate link on that site. When you go to live stream, you can check out all the equipment that I use. But I've had my Nebo for quite some time now, and I absolutely love it. And my husband, he is like the one who helps me figure things out. He's more of a hardware tech person, and he's also software. I'm mostly software, but yeah, if I have any issues, I just get him to help me with that. So I wanted to make sure our live was like super duper on point for tonight. So we were just troubleshooting, testing some things. So yeah, if you need any help with that, just reach out to me and I can help you, okay? Kat says she is mostly finished. Wow, Kat, I need to like get on the ball. I'm on Thanksgiving break. Yay. We just got out of school today. So I have all next week off. So I'm hoping we'll have an opportunity to do some of that. We shall see. That's my plan though. And we're having Thanksgiving at my mom and dad. So I don't have to get our house like fully prepared for Thanksgiving. But I do want to go ahead and start putting a dent in our decorating. Miss Betty, you started decorating today? Wow, that is amazing. You're doing great. I've got to catch up with y'all. And I see, is Valerie going on a cruise? Where are you going, Valerie? Awesome, Kat. I would love to help you. Yeah, I've always loved technology. And when I started out as a teacher. I taught fourth grade, but early on in my teaching career, my district noticed that I had an ability, a gift with technology. And so I started teaching district technology courses. So smart boards came later on, but it was things like computer basics, PowerPoint. Let's see, what else did we have? Web design, all sorts of things. Let's see what else. Podcasting, iPads, iPods for kids, things like that. And I taught some of that with my gifted and talented students as well. So yeah, I absolutely love technology. All right, y'all, it didn't shed too bad. So let me clean off the table here. And then what I want to do is I'm going to show you a comparison so you can see what a difference fluffing makes. So first of all, let's do our little measure. Now that we have it fluffed. So notice now it's sitting right at the 18 inches. Isn't that amazing? All right, and then let me show you. I love doing this with my private group members because I always like to do a before and after. So look, this is going to represent the after. So let's move that one over. So I grabbed another one from my shop just so I could show you the before. So y'all look at how pitiful this looked. This was the before. Can y'all see the difference? That's the before. And then look at the difference the after makes. So when you're working with these pine wreaths, I always recommend take your time, do touch every branch, every pine tinsel. It makes a difference. Now we're going to stuff this tonight. However, I want you to keep in mind, you still want to make it look full before you start adding things. Okay, does anyone have questions about that before we continue on? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the mesh that I chose for this. And I actually changed the mesh from my original design. So my mesh tonight is from Craft Outlet. And I had several options, but at the last minute yesterday, I decided, you know what, I want to change this. So remember, this is our sign right here. And I wanted to really bring out those gorgeous colors in the sign. And I found this, y'all. So look, we are going to use this gorgeous, this is 10 inch. It is like a poly jute. It has the natural color along with emerald green and our red metallic stripes. So I've cut this to 20 inches. I did not wood burn it because of the jute, right, in the mesh. But what I did is I used my rotary cutter and I cut it as though I were wood burning it. So I followed the groove along that seam so that I could get a pretty neat cut edge right there. So this is going to be one of our colors. Then we're also going to bring in some emerald green. And I chose the wide metallic because since this one had the metallic stripes, I wanted to make sure that I pulled in that same metallic. I could have gone with a plainer mesh, but I really wanted to match it. So I had some emerald green. This one, I could have wood burned it, but I used the same technique. So again, I used my rotary cutter and I just followed that seam. Instead of cutting it on my cutting board at 20 inches, I followed the seam so I could get a clean cut. So we're going to use some emerald green. And finally, guess what? We're going to use some wide metallic red. Same thing. So all of our mesh is cut at about 20 inches. I'm anticipating we're going to need roughly 5 pieces of each, and we may have to cut one more piece. But let's see how it's going to go as we go around. It is funny, Kat, how people don't fluff at all. So we're going to do our cruffle technique. And there are lots of ways to do the cruffle. You can use the clip method, which is what I used to do when I first started. I have also noticed some like to do it on their chest like this, where they roll it in. Let me see if I can stand up and show you. Roll it in and scrunch, scrunch, scrunch together. You can do that. But what I'm going to do instead is I am going to, and I'll use some scissors just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm putting my mesh on my table curved side facing upward. And then I'm going to start with my roll. And I'm going to roll it about 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then I should have enough to scrunch it about 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just going to take the other end and roll it in 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then so that everything looks nice and neat and contained, and that's another reason why I didn't worry about wood burning, I'm going to flip it over on the back. And then I'm going to start on the outside edge. Now, this particular form only has 1 bar, okay, being the 18 inch. So I'm going to treat the outer branches as though this were a outer ring. And I'm just going to grab 2 ties that are together, and I'm going to go in just like so. And I'm going to put my curls in face down so that everything is contained. And I'm going in horizontally. You can put them in vertically. And I have a little fray piece here. I'm just going to cut that off. All right. And then all I'm doing is just putting it in just like so. And I like to kind of poof mine up a little just so that it comes back together. And that is all we are going to be doing. What do y'all think about that? Elizabeth says, I've been doing lives for a while. You can tell, Elizabeth, I did my first live in 2019, and it's still on my YouTube channel if you want to go back and find it. It was a recorded video, I think, that I uploaded. And then I think, so that was recorded. My actual first real live was an unboxing from Craft Outlet, which is where all the mesh came from. I hope I said that. And yeah, I've come a long way. I love going live. I didn't think I would when I first started. My mom is my inspiration for that because she's been going live forever. And so now I manage all of her live streams. So yes, Donzel, you're going to be off Thanksgiving. Oh yes, the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. Oh, I love it. Yes. I'm looking forward to having a lot of downtime this week. I have some things I need to work on. I just found out I'm going to be a vendor next month at the farmer's market. All right, so let's rotate, y'all. And it doesn't matter what order. So let's do red next. Okay. I found out I'm going to be a vendor at the PD State Farmers Market on December 6th. They have a Christmas market. So let's do that again. All right, so we're going to roll it about 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to scrunch about 4 times. 1, I'm just taking my index finger and my thumb, and I'm almost letting it walk towards me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. My other fingers do move in support. And then I'm going to roll this in 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you like the clip method, you can do the clip method as well. I just find that for some reason lately, I like that method. And then I'm going to pick 2 pine tines that are sort of close to the previous mesh. Okay. And then I'm going to push them in. I'm going right to that spine. And I'm going to give it a couple of twists. So 1 and 2. And you know you have it close enough. You want them to kind of butt up against each other just like that. But there is no right or wrong, okay? Because we don't have pipe cleaners or Chanel stems or anything like that, tinsel ties to help tell us where things are going. So if you need to kind of look ahead and pick your 2 before you start, you absolutely can do it. So see, I have my 2 ready to go. So yeah, so that event is going to be December 6th, which means I will need to prepare, which I'm still kind of prepared for my last event. After we got back from Quimby Baptist Church, they had a Christmas market. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to scrunch for 4. You can tell this is at the end of the roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to roll in 3. So we kind of came back, left everything to a point where we don't have to do a lot of prep. So it's really just restocking things that sold. I sold a lot of wreaths this time. A lot of bows sold. I sold a lot of my Color Street Beauty products. So yeah, I'm just super thankful for the opportunities and all the things, because it's all because of God. I wanted to do 4 shows this year, and I really said my goal was to do 1 a quarter. And that didn't happen, but all of a sudden, quarter 4, I've done 3 shows now. So this will be 4. So yay, I'm so excited. All right, y'all, I've made some mesh to go ahead and save us some time, and then we'll come back and make the last batch. So let's go ahead and keep going. My favorite wreath base, Kat is asking. I really would have to say, if I answer that based on the one I use the most often, I probably would have to say the 14-inch from Dollar Tree. That's probably my favorite, just based on the fact that I use it most often. But I really, if I answer it based on truly being the favorite, I love using the pine bases. I love how easy it is to add things to it. It seems like it's easier to fill when you're adding all of your embellishments. So I know I gave you two answers. So based on the one I use most often, I would say the Dollar Tree 14-inch. But I truly do love the pine bases. I like using the swags as well. All right, so what do y'all think so far? Y'all loving this design? I can't wait to see how it comes together because y'all know how it is when you're thinking of something in your head, it starts in your mind, but then you visualize it even more as you start putting things together. And so you all are seeing me build it live with you. And I'm moving some of these out of the way as I look for my next piece, y'all, but it's still staying fluffed, okay? Thank you, Donzel. And if y'all have questions as we're going throughout, feel free to ask those questions. So does anyone else enjoy fluffing? I think about fluffing my tree. I think about fluffing bows. Does anyone else fluff, or is it just us crafters? And let me know in the comments who is a crafter, because I don't know all of you. So let me know who is a crafter. Curious to see who is a wreath maker and who is a wreath buyer. All right, y'all. So I just did one round again of all three colors. So you can see so far we've used 2 of each color. So let's go in and let's see, that's 3, 6. Let's see if we can get at least 3 more. We might squeeze a 4th one. Let's see. So let's do that again. We're going to just repeat our pattern here. And sometimes if I have a set number in mind, like I really feel like I can get 10, and I'm just going based on when I've done this before. So you can always scoot things over, make them tighter to adjust what you want to have. Just like that. Okay. And when I was doing this, I even thought about alternating, putting the jute in between each red and each green, but then I changed my mind on that. But there are so many different ways you can do it. It's totally up to you. I have used the flop before. They're a little messy, but I was thinking about maybe next month in the private group, Kat, we might do something with like a flopped swag is what I was thinking. But I do love those as well. All right, so I'm just checking to make sure those 2 that I was grabbing were closer to the outside. Remember, I don't have an outside ring, but I'm treating it as though it is. Valerie says she loves all things crafting. I love that. All right, so it looks like I'm getting 9, and I'm good with that, y'all. I think this I'm calling it like a gingerbread. It feels like a gingerbread. The jute is a little thicker, so it's covering up and taking up more space than the other. Last time I made one of these, I did get 10 on the outside. So if you make wreaths and when you do yours, you may find that you're able to get 10. It may fluctuate just depending upon how you even crumple your mesh. Ooh, a flopped tree would be nice. I know Valerie, she was showing us how to flock the hat yesterday. I enjoyed that tutorial. I said, I've got to try that. All right, y'all, we have the outside all done. All right, let me zoom you out for just a second. What do you think? Take a look at that outside. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so we ended up with 3 of each piece on the outside, making a grand total of 9. So let's see how many we can get on the inside. The inside's going to be smaller. Let's see if we can get maybe 6, okay? And I promised you we would make a few more pieces. Okay, so we're going to just start with our jute again. And this will be a review in case anyone's just joining us. Yeah, I know. It seems like it would be hard to do, but Valerie made it look so easy. All right, so this time, this was a fresh roll, you can see. The other mesh was leftover mesh, so I'm not going to use my scissors this time. So let's go ahead and roll it about 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Scrunch for about 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I love it, Elizabeth. You do crafting and crafting. What is OCC, Elizabeth? All year long? Is that for occasions, I'm guessing? Maybe. Oh, I love the Unique and the Creek boards. I love making the flower wreaths and all the things. We may have to do that too when I come back. I love making them just on the regular wreath forms. All right, so what I'm going to do for the inside, I don't want to directly line up the jute with the jute. So I'm going to go like in between, and I'm going to line it up right here where we have this emerald green, and I'm just picking 2 that are right here in front. Quick story I'll have to tell you all. I shared it in Kat's private group earlier this month. I actually met Kat online when she used to go live on Friday nights. And back then, my husband and I would go out for date night. And so he knew that on Friday nights, we had to make time to watch Kat. And back then, Kat and her husband, they would be live in their California home in their kitchen. And I have vivid memories of spending my Fridays with Kat. So that's a little fun fact there. So if y'all didn't know that about Kat, she used to go live on Friday nights. And I think it was 8 o'clock my time. So I guess that was 5 o'clock her time. So yeah, that was a long time ago, a while ago. All right, let's do that again, y'all. So we're moving on to the red. So 1 and 2 and 3. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to roll it for about 3. 1, 2, and 3. You miss your kitchen, Kat? I bet. I know when we moved here, because Kat and I both bought new houses and moved in 2022, I considered having like an outdoor building, and we had plans to do that. But after we got here, and y'all know Kat has her own shop outside now, I actually changed my mind because I was like, I like being in the house. So here I was again thinking when we bought our new house, because we have a lot more square footage now and we have a lot of land. I was thinking, oh, I can have my like shop outside, and had all these plans. And then I decided, you know what? I don't want to do that. I like being inside. Y'all, I don't want this red and red together, and it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put green here. See, just look at my designer eye. As I was talking to you, I saw that. I was like, ooh, let me not do that. You can. It's not going to matter. I'm going to clip it so I don't have to re-fluff or roll that and crumple it. So let's put the green there. So yeah, maybe one day I might, but right now I really love being inside. And in our old house, I was upstairs in our bonus room. That's where I worked. And I always felt separated from my husband whenever he would be downstairs doing things. And now I'm right here. So he's probably still watching the live, but he's in his man cave. So like if I need something, I can holler out there and say, hey, hubby, can you help me? Or what do you think about such and such? Or come look at what I'm doing. So we'll see if that changes, but that's kind of where I am for right now. And then if I want to work late at night, I don't have to worry about like it's dark, you know, because like right now it's getting dark at 5:30, I think. So yeah, I think those are reasons for me that I love being inside. Not that I don't want my own space outside or a separate building, y'all, because I have taken over a lot of this house again. That was not my plan. But you know what? The Lord knows. So I'm so thankful for how he works everything out. Yes, I know, right, Kat? Yeah, those Friday nights were wonderful, Valerie. Maybe Kat can bring those back a little bit for us. in a different way, I'm sure. But yeah, it could be like a reunion of sorts, maybe. I don't know. All right, so we have 3 on the inside so far. Let's see if we can squeeze 3 more in. Elizabeth, you have a place in Arizona. You want to sell it? I hear you. I understand. All right, y'all. We might make it work to where we use exactly 6. So let's see if we can do it. All right, here I go again. This is me just paying attention. So I really don't want to put this one next. So let's see. Can I put the green and do it out of order? I'm just changing up my whole little order here. And guess what? I can do that. There we go. I think I can do it. Let's try it. And again, it's not going to matter. Sometimes when I'm doing wreath on the Dollar Tree form, you can't control it, and I just go with it. But since I'm looking at it, why not, right? All right, let's see if we can squeeze 2 in here. And you know what? It's going to happen because there it is again. So let's just go ahead and put it in. It's not going to matter. All right, so let's just go ahead and put it in. So sometimes, y'all, when you're trying to arrange the colors, it doesn't always work out. I would probably have to put it right there for it to work where the red is. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to switch the red, though, since the green is back right here. Just like so. And I'm just finding 2 and grabbing them and securing it. And then right here. Look at there. So we use 9 on the outside, 6 on the inside. And then if you have any little frays, I just like to trim those up. All right, let's take a look and see what we've done so far. That's adding in our mesh. All right, take a look. What do y'all think? Oh my goodness, look at how full our wreath is looking now. So we just added our mesh. And let me know, drop a yes if mesh is your favorite part of designing, or let me know if team ribbon, if you live for ribbon time, because that's what's coming up next. Look at how full that looks, y'all. Oh my goodness. All right, I have to do it again. You want to see the before? Take a look at the before. Look at what we just created, y'all. We took this boring looking plain pine base that needed a little love. And look at what we did. We elevated, and look at how gorgeous and thick and full it looks now. You can't even tell. You're right, Kat. Let's do another measurement. Remember, it was 18 inches. Now it is sitting at roughly about 21 inches. So you can get a nice size from these pine bases. Always keep that in mind when you're thinking about the size that you want. We're going to embellish it a little bit more, but similar to the 14-inch Dollar Tree form, you know how we normally end up with 24 inches. Look at that. That is a roughly about 21 inch. Okay, Elizabeth says, mesh not so good with ribbon. We're going to get you a little bit better with ribbon, Elizabeth. We can do it. All right, so let me show you our ribbon choices. I had a few gingerbread ribbon I wanted to pull in, and I actually found this one at a local store that we have here in town, but they have it at Craft Outlet as well. So we have some gingerbread ribbon right here. And this is a 2.5 inch. And for the purpose of this wreath, we're going to cut our ribbon tails at about 14 inches. Okay, so here is one ribbon I pulled. And then I found another gingerbread ribbon. I thought this one was gorgeous as well. It's on a white background. These are both canvas, I believe. Let me see. This one feels linen. So canvas and linen. I really prefer canvas, but I love this one on the white background. It's pulling in the reds and the green. We have a little bit of the lime green going on in this one, but look at the gorgeous detail. We have like the cookies, the gingerbread, Christmas tree, candy cane. And then I wanted to have a little bit of some solids. Thank you, Valerie. Hey, I don't know if I spoke to Valerie on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Then I wanted to bring in a little bit of solid. So both of these you can find at Craft Outlet. This is that little local shop. I found this one. I didn't even know I had this. So some emerald green velvet. I thought we could break it up a little bit with that because I don't want it to be super busy. And then I want it to go a little rustic and bring back that natural color, which is making me think about the gingerbread. And so, y'all, this is one of my favorites. This is Craft Outlet. It's a natural, but it has that red trim on it. So a lot of times I do like to do the half bows with my 1.5 inch, but I decided tonight to just stick to all ribbon tails. So 14 inches for all my ribbons tonight. And we're only going to add ribbon to the outside. So remember, we have an odd number. We have 9. So we're going to need 2 of each color. And then whichever color we start with, we're going to need 3. I think I'm going to start with this one. Thank you, Kat. So we're going to need 3 of these. And then we're going to need 2 pieces of each of the others. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with our ribbon. I've already cut the ribbon. And I'm going to get a sip of my tea. I was drinking some tea earlier. I also have my water. I try to stay hydrated. Do y'all do that? Are y'all good with drinking your water? What are y'all drinking right now? I know Kat said she was going to have some cocoa while we made our design. And I'm drinking out of my personalized tumbler. If y'all didn't know, I do the 40-ounce tumblers now in my shop too. Kat actually has one for her Made for More private group. Okay, so let's grab our ribbon. I've already dovetailed them, and I have them in the order that I want to add them. So we're going to add our red gingerbread ribbon first. And I just added them in the order that I felt would break up the pattern. We're going to add our natural next. Then we're going to add in our gingerbread on the white background. And then let's wrap it up with our emerald green. So let's do our colors like this. Just like so. Ooh, a hot latte sounds good. All right, and then I'm zooming in. And then I like to look at my mesh to see if there's a particular mesh that I don't want a certain ribbon on. And I really don't think it's going to matter in this instance, but sometimes, for instance, normally I would not have my emerald green land on emerald here. I have an odd number of mesh, even number of ribbons. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'm not right now worried about it, but if it ends up being that way, then we can always switch it out. Okay. So I want to start with my jute right here. I'm going to start with this red one. Tea sounds good, Miss Betty. All right, so I already folded it in half. So I'm going to open it where I folded, and that's where I'm going to scrunch it up the middle. And then that same twist that we added a moment ago, I'm not going to untwist it, but I'm just going to lay it right on top of that twist and then give it a couple more twists to secure it. And then I like to fan my tails out. So I'm only doing 1 ribbon per twist tie. You could add multiple ribbons. It's totally up to you. Okay. Totally up to you. All right. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my 1.5 inch. This is one of my favorite ribbons to use because it can go with so many different things, not just Christmas. You can use it for everyday designs, Valentine's Day, what have you. Oh, you're having a Dr. Pepper, Kat says. Okay. I usually like to drink my leftover coffee at night, like the coffee I've had from work. I don't drink it all. And so at night, I finish off my coffee. All right, so far it's working out, y'all. So let's put our gingerbread again next. So I'm going to scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And then go right in, just like so. Give it a couple of twists. So which of the ribbons would you all say is your favorite so far? You can say red gingerbread or number 1. Hey, Steve, there you are. How are you? I'm so happy you're here. Oh, I love it. Oh, you're at your local restaurant right now? Is that what y'all are doing? All right. If you like the natural, go ahead and comment. You can just put number 2. Let's do numbers. If you like the gingerbread on the white, you can comment 3. And if you like the emerald green, comment 4. So go ahead and let us know which of the ribbon choices are you feeling right now. All right, and then we're back to this one. Gingerbread, Kat says, which one, Kat? Both of them, or is there one in particular? And we're going to do another sign check. I meant to do that before starting the ribbon, but we'll wait and do it. And if you're not ever sure about your ribbon, and I'm going to untwist this one a little bit because it has a lot of height on it because this jute is so thick. So I am going to untwist, which is something I normally don't do. I just need that ribbon to go in a little bit closer. But if you're not sure about the length of your ribbon, you can always test it. Like sometimes I'll just start adding it in to see how long I want it. And you can do that before you ever cut it, and then you can take it out and measure it. Okay, so we just added in one complete set. And now let's go ahead and keep going. So we're going to go back around. And I'm going to slide the ribbon out of the way so it's not in your way. All right, Valerie, let's see. Valerie, you like number 2. I love that one too. Kat saying number 1. Yep. Love it. So Valerie says she is a minimalist. Love that, Valerie. I don't think I knew that about you. Learn something every day. All right, so we're just twisting it in. Just like so. Look at those pretty colors. I mean, like the ribbon is really popping. Okay, that's what I thought you were saying, Steve. And you're at a restaurant, right? Is that what you were saying? Because I was sharing earlier, I don't know if Kat told you, but you all have been a huge part of our Friday nights in the past, like for many years. I don't even know how long. So thank you for that. All right, I'm going to have to untwist y'all because it's stacking up and I don't want my ribbon hanging out. So you probably could do 13 inches instead of the 14, as long as you're being consistent. But I'm looking at my exterior border that I'm creating with my mesh and also my ribbon. And I'm just watching that border, making sure everything is lining up the way I want it to. Okay. You do like glam too. I understand, Valerie. Yeah, so you like a mix. And it probably depends on what it's for too. I'm like that. All right, so I'm untwisting it just so I can get it in even closer. Normally I don't do this, y'all. So I would recommend you do the 13 inches. But I'm making the 14 work by untwisting. There we go. Look at how gorgeous that is turning out. Can y'all see that? Oh my gosh. All right, did I make it back around that fast? And let me make sure I'm not doing it out of order. I did it out of order because I was like, wait a minute. Let me make sure, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yep, hold on. No, that is right. I think I cut my ribbon on purpose knowing how many I would need. Look at there. I'm smart. I figured it out. Okay. So I have one extra piece of ribbon because I thought I was going to have 10. And look, here's what I'm going to do. I don't want the 2 cookies like this beside each other. So guess what? I'm just going to put this natural in. Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm changing it up. Yeah, you can. You can change it as you go. And just like just now, I didn't want the 2 cookies, the gingerbread beside themselves. So I'm just switching it out for a natural because that will be next in the lineup. Let me find the right piece. because I kind of pushed that one away from the mesh. There we go. Are y'all enjoying this tonight? Because I'm having so much fun with you. All right, let's take a look and see how we did. We got all of our ribbon added. And that's going to extend it also a little bit. All right, let's see. I always like to do another measurement. With our ribbon tails now, it's starting to extend out to the 24-inch mark even. So see how you can get a little bit more length and width with your ribbons being added. And I like to make sure I've angled them out. We'll finish fluffing those in just a minute. All right, let's do a sign check. I always like putting the sign on. That just makes my heart so happy when I see how it all looks. So look at there, y'all. Oh my goodness, we have choices. We can put it in the center if we want to. We can put it off to the side. I'm usually an off to the side kind of person. But what do y'all think? How's that looking? So that is what we have so far. Oh my goodness, y'all. It's turning out better than even I imagined. But y'all tell me, what do you think? All right, so I think it's time. Let's make a bow and we'll see how we're going to tie this all together. If we put our sign here, what if we make a nice bow that kind of cascades here and comes down? What do y'all think about that? I think that's what I want to do. So let's slide it off to the side for just a second. I'm going to leave the sign there so I can still see. All right, so we're going to definitely use those same ribbons. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. All right, so this ribbon is not as stiff. Remember, I told you it's the linen. So I like to start with the stiff ribbon. So I'm going to start with this one. And then I definitely want to break it up some. So let's see how we're going to do this. I grabbed a few other ribbon choices because there were just so many ribbons. This one I found from Sam's and I hadn't even opened it yet. So this is a 50-yard roll. Sam's has lots of gorgeous ribbons out. So if you're ever looking for ribbon at a great price, you can grab some from Sam's. So we might add this in the mix, but let's just kind of see where we want to add it. Valerie, I know I love this one too. So I think I want to end with this one here. So I'm building my order for my bow. And then let's see what else we have. This is where I like to bring in ribbons that I didn't necessarily even include in the wreath. Like this one I used in the private group. It has more of the candy canes and the candies, but I don't want another red ribbon because I feel like that is my focal ribbon for the gingerbread. But I just wanted to show you, here's another gorgeous Sam's Club ribbon. I even found this one, and I love this too because it had the baker's, like the rolling pin. We have the bowl there, but it's a different color from my natural, and I didn't want to throw that off with the mesh, but just showing you all some options. That's Craft Outlet. This one is Hobby Lobby, y'all. And I thought this could maybe be used because of the decorations in our Christmas tree there. So let's just kind of see what we're going to do. I definitely think I want to bring in some solid red to help break up some things. And I'm kind of leaning towards, I kind of want to add that one right there. Let's see. And red didn't make it, huh? I think I'm feeling that right now. Let's go with that and let's see what we think. Okay. So a lot of times, sometimes I limit myself to just the ribbon from the ribbon tails. Then there's other times where some additional ribbons will make it into the design. Okay. So I already know what I want my bow to look like. I want a bow that has some tails coming down. And I think I will probably only do tails coming from the first bow or the first ribbon. And we're going to aim it for in about that area. So let's create a bow that has some long tails. What do y'all think? Does that sound pretty good? And then we're going to add some embellishments and we'll see what all we're going to do. All right, so let's zoom you in. I like to use my Easy Bow Maker. Let me know in the comments, do any of you make bows? And how do you make your bows? Do you make it by hand, Easy Bow Maker, Bow-Dabra? How do you make your bows? I'm going to move my ribbon off camera here to the side. All right, so let's go ahead and add our first ribbon to the spool holder. And I'm thinking I want my tails to hang kind of long. So let's do roughly, I want a 15-inch tail on each side. So let's cut a 30-inch strip. Okay, so I'm using my mat to measure here. And you can see I've stretched it out to the 30. And I'm going to cut it right at the 0 where my finger is right here. So here's where 0 is. So we're going to add our tail first. I'm just folding it in half. And then I'm going to fold the ends in half. And I'm cutting from that folded end to the outside open end. The deeper you cut, the deeper your dovetail will be. Just like that. What do y'all think? All right. Then I'm going to open it up. And where that fold is, that's where I'm going to scrunch. Just like so. And I'm going to drop this right down the center of my pegs on my Easy Bow Maker. And that's going to start the base for my ribbon tails, okay? Now, I will say technically, my gingerbread, they're upside down. So I guess I'm going to fix that. I did not realize that until just now. So hang on. You will notice on the right side, they're upside down. Sometimes you don't have to worry about it. I'm just noticing it. So since I see it, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this right side off, leaving a little bit of an overhang here. And we'll use this later. Okay, it's not going to be wasted. So I started my tail on the left, and I'm going to do the same thing and create my tail on the right. So I'm going to scrunch, 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 drop it in just like so. And then so I don't have to figure it out, I'm just going to stretch it down just like this. And I'm going to cut it where it meets. So that way I have roughly another 15 inches. Thank you, Rose. All right, and then I just need to dovetail this in, okay? Now, we probably can get away with our loops. After I start making it, I'll see if I need to fix my loops so that the gingerbread are going the same way. We'll see. Again, that's not something you have to do. That's just something I noticed, and I didn't want the gingerbread to be upside down, okay? All right, so let's see if we can create it and not have to worry about the direction of our gingerbread. So now we're going to start making some loops, and I want to scrunch. When I make a bow, I think of PTL, and when I was growing up, I used to watch a program called Praise the Lord. PTL tonight is going to stand for pinch, twist, and loop. So I want to pinch my ribbon, okay? So I'm going to pinch it on my mat. And then I'm going to twist away from my body. I create bows on the Pro Bow the hand, and if you go ahead and learn the twist away, that just helps you know how to make Pro Bow. Okay, I'm going to drop it in the peg, so that's my twist. Notice when you twist, you see the wrong side of the ribbon, so now I'm ready to loop it. I'm going to loop it at 5 inches. Here is my loop. I'm using my Easy Bow Maker. It has the ruler, and that's how I know I'm on 5 inches. Okay, and I think y'all can see that. Once you loop it, if you're not done with your bow, you want to do another twist. I'm going to twist away from my body again. Okay, because I already pinched it. I pinched it when I dropped it in as I looped it. All right, so that's my twist. Now I'm going to loop it again, wrong side, so I need to see the right side. So loop it, and I'm pinching already again. And I want to loop it at 5 inches. Now you can start to see the foundation of my bow. And guess what? I'm happy with my trees. I'm not going to worry about those being turned a certain way. So I think this will work. Rose, it's PTL. Pinch, twist, loop. I'll put it on the screen for you, okay? Let me do it. Here you go. Pinch, twist, loop. So I want to make 2 more loops. I'm going to keep this going for just a second. So let's twist again. I just pinched. So twist. I'm going to loop it again at 5 inches. I have a picture of the bow in my head already. So I am looping it. I've already twisted it. Loop it at 5. The pinching happens because of my dowels here. So it's already pinched together. I'm going to twist it away from my body. And then I want to make 1 more loop. So I'm going to loop it. I'm looping it at 5 inches. And then I'm going to cut my ribbon. I'm done with ribbon number 1. You're welcome, Rose. And I do have my bow recipe. If you go to the link that's pinned, faithlinks.com, if you scroll down, you can get my bow recipe that I'm not using tonight as far as the tails, but everything else as far as the loops are the same, okay? So yeah, if you go ahead and click on that link, it'll give you the bow recipe. Now, when I'm creating and it's free, by the way, it's free. When I'm creating my bow, I like to fluff as I go so I can see what the bow looks like. So I'm going to take on the bottom, the top loop up. So that means this one comes down. And then on the left, I'm going to take the bottom loop down and the top loop comes up. For me, that helps me see what my bow is looking like as I'm building it on my bow maker. Can y'all see that? What do y'all think so far? So that's our first one. Now, I will tell you, normally when I'm building a bow, I don't alternate between 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch. But this time I want to. So we're going to skip the other 2.5 inch right now because it's pattern and pattern. I want to break it up with the solid. So let's add our velvet. Okay. And I'm going to do something that might look a little different, but I am going to add the short tail this time. Okay. So I'm going to cut the end. I'm going to dovetail it, fold it like a hot dog. And then I'm going to cut from the folded edge to the outside open edge. There's my V. Just like that. I don't want any tails this time. Thank you, Kathleen. I don't want any long tails hanging down. I'm going to create the short tails again, like I normally do. So I want this tail to hang about the same size of this loop. This loop is 5 inches, so I'm going to measure a little over 5 inches. So let's do about 5.5, almost 6 inches. Where my thumb is, that's where I'm going to start my pinch. So let's do it all over again. Pinch. So pinch, twist, drop it in, and then I like to fan it out to see if that's about the length I want it. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. And then I want, for this first loop, I want it to be the same as my bottom loop. So I'm going to do 5 inches. Okay, so I'm twisting and looping. I'm going to loop it at 5 inches. Do y'all see how the bow's coming together? Let's twist away from our body. I'm going to make this tail go to the top, out of my way. All right, and this is some nice ribbon, y'all. I wish I had gotten another roll of this. I'm going to have to go back and see if they have more. All right, so I've already pinched. I've already twisted. Loop it at 5 inches. And that's all I want on this second ribbon. There we go. And my tail ended up being 6 inches. So I'm going to cut my tail right here at the 6-inch mark. Just like so. And we are done with our second ribbon. And I'll finish dovetailing in just a second. Thank you, Donzel. Donzel, I know you like the longer lives. I hope you're enjoying this. All right, we're done with ribbon number 2. All right, so since my tail on the right went up, I'm going to make this tail come down. And I'm going to leave my loops in the middle for right now. Let's go ahead and dovetail the end of our bow. Just like so. Getting it right in the middle. Okay. What do y'all think? There's our bow so far. Okay. Now we're going to add in that little fun ribbon that I found at Hobby Lobby. And let me see if I want, let me make sure I'm checking my order. Yeah, I think I want it next still. Let's go ahead and open it up. I've had this ribbon before. When I saw it today, I said, ooh, I like this one. Let's get it. I know it's a little softer, so let's see how it's going to look. Sometimes I end my bows with this, but let's just see. Let's see how it's going to look. Could end it. Now that I think about it, because I do like to end it with it, but let's just see. All right, we're going to dovetail it. Just like so. All right. Let's bring in our tail. Let's do 5.5 inches. So where my thumb is, I'm going to scrunch, and I just scrunch on the mat because my bow tails are in the way. Let's twist away. So P, pinch, twist. Since the last tail was at the top, this time my tail is coming down to the bottom. All right. And then we're going to loop it. Let's do 4.5 inches. I'm just bringing everything in 1/2 inch. Hobbity lobbity. I love it. I've heard some people say hoblobs, but I love hobbity lobbity. It makes me think of like Easter, like a bunny rabbit for some reason. Maybe the hopping. All right. I'm looping it at 4.5 inches. Since this tail is down, I'm going to make this loop go up. Just like so. Since this loop is up, I'm going to make this one come down. And then let's cut it at 6. Was it? Nope, it was 5.5. 5.5 inches. I had to think, y'all. You had me thinking about that hobbity lobbity. I love it. All right, let me get a pin for this one because this is a new ribbon, so I didn't have a pin in it. Y'all, look at that bow. All right, and then we're going to take our tail to the top and do our dovetail. Does that help y'all with the bow? Y'all like that? And this will be a gorgeous bow, like if you just wanted to decorate like something in your home with a bow like this. I do tree topper bows, all sorts of bows for all purposes. So if you decide tonight you like this bow, comment the word, just put sold and bow, and you can have this bow. All right, let's get our little gingerbread right here. All right, now, usually with my 2.5 inch, that's when I like to do my longer tails, but since I'm stacking this on top of the 1.5 inch, I don't want to take away from the tails that are already here. We could make it happen, but I'm not going to do that. But I do want to give y'all that as an option. So let's keep going with what we're doing. We're going to create 5-inch tails this time. So I'm measuring where my thumb is. I'm going to scrunch, twist. I've already pinched. Okay, so scrunch is pinching. All right. Come in just a little bit for my 5-inch tails. My last tail went to the bottom, so this one's going to go to the top, just like so. All right, we're at 4 inches for the loop. Remember, I told y'all this one was like that linen, so I'm just using my fingers to fluff it out the way I want it to be. All right, I did my twist. I'm looping it, and I'm looping it at about 4 inches. We're almost done. All right, and then we're going to cut our tail at 5 inches right here, just like that. Pull that down and dovetail it. We have one more ribbon, y'all, and then we're done. I don't want my tails to get much shorter. So for this last one, and hold on, I have some leftover ribbon, y'all. Let's use some leftover ribbon for this one. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, here, it's this right here. All right. So let's keep it at 5 inches. For now, I'm going to scrunch it. And for this last one, let's just do a center loop, just like so. My center loops are usually about 2 inches, sometimes 2.5. And then we're going to cut it right here. Just cut it at the same length as the previous. And look at that nice thick bow. I mean, it's getting so thick there. All right, we're going to wrap. We're going to tie everything together. I like to use zip ties and a pipe cleaner. So here is my pipe cleaner. I usually match the pipe cleaner with the pine form so that you don't see all these odd colors on the back. I'm going to use, I hope, a 6-inch, but this one might be a little thick. Let's see. I'm not going to use a 6-inch, y'all. Normally I tie my bows with the small 6-inch zip ties, but that's going to be a little tight. So let's go a little bit bigger. Let's see what this one is. This is an 8-inch. So y'all ready to see this bow? So what I like to do is I push down on the bow while I'm pushing up on the bow, holding all the goodness in my hand. And if you're not like comfortable with this technique, you can slip your zip tie underneath. All right. I'm holding all of this goodness in my hand. And then right where those pegs were, let's see if I can hold my hand so you can see it. I'm going to go right around that middle with this zip tie carefully. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to start zipping it. Once I get it in my hand, then I'm going to slip the pipe cleaner that I folded in half on purpose so I know where the middle is. Just like that. And then I'm going to use my pliers just to start tightening it up. Then I can let it go while I pull tight. Then let's cut it down with our wire cutters. just like so. And now look at our bow. We have a gorgeous bow, and we'll finish dovetailing. I like to do that last. That reminds me of which loop I ended with. So let's finish. We'll get it on the bow, on our wreath. We'll see how it looks. So let's grab our wreath again. We're going to see how we did. All right. So I'm thinking we're going to put our sign over here on that side, and then we'll put our bow over here. Thank you. And I may trim my tails a little bit. We'll see how it's going to look when we get it on there. So there's no right or wrong regarding the order. Sometimes I do the bow first. Sometimes I do the sign. Let's go ahead and do the sign. I'm going to use my metal hole punch pliers. I just keep them in the little holder. And usually, y'all, I'm very particular. You don't have to be, but let me show you what I normally do. Yes, absolutely, Steve. That's what I was saying. So I love what Steve said. And this is how Valerie did hers, I believe. If you have difficulty getting the bow off, you could lay your pipe cleaner down just like so, or your zip tie or what have you. I've even done it this way before. Or you can even slip it underneath as you're sliding it off and go ahead and start cinching it up. So lots of ways you can do it. Absolutely. Love it. Okay, so this is what I do for my signs. You don't have to do this, but I always like to look and see where the center is, just so that I'm not guessing. You could guess. There's nothing wrong with that. And then what I like to do sometimes is I'll just put a little dot where the middle is, just like that. Now that's only if you want to make sure you're punching it in the middle. You don't have to. I'm going to do top and bottom just because of where my mesh is. And then when I use this, I'm always making sure that I punch away from my eyes. You don't want to punch the sign, the hole up to your eye, okay? So when I punch it, I make sure that the little piece falls down, and usually I can find it, like it'll fall right there in my hand. You just give it a soft little punch. If anyone needs this sign, the link is in the comments. If you need the link again, just let me know and I can add it. But this sign is available in my shop. Okay. All right, and then we are just going to use some matching pipe cleaners. You can use wire, whatever your heart desires to add it in. I'm going to use the same green. This is that moss green. So I'm just going to insert the pipe cleaner halfway, just like so. Can y'all believe I need to buy some more red pipe cleaners? I can't believe I'm out of red. And I meant to pick some up when I was at Hobby Lobby and I forgot. I'm going to give it a couple of twists on the back, just like so. So this is going to help us keep our sign in place. When I first started wreath making, I didn't know how to attach signs, and I was working at an elementary school at the time, and I went to the art teacher, and she helped me use a paper clip, and we made a hook on the back. We glued it. So I've come a long way since those days. I do sometimes use the cable tie mounts, but if it's metal, I prefer to just punch the holes, because if it's in the sun, I've had sometimes them melt. The sun would melt the glue, and then the cable tie mount would come off. So yeah, I try to avoid that. All right, I think I want that color to show for some reason. So let's see. Maybe, what if we cover, I'm tucking that in. This was a piece of mesh at the end of my roll too that I didn't cut. So I kind of want to hide it. I think I'm going to hide that with some glue in just a second. I'm going to fix that now while I see it. So that was a little piece at the end of the roll. Now I'm just going to use a little piece of glue here. I'm going to make this roll stay because I didn't want to throw any bit of this mesh away because I was at the very end of the roll. So I'm adding a little bit of glue and I'm forcing it to stay rolled there. All right, so I'm going to aim my sign right here because I know I want my bow to go here over that red. Okay, just like that. Let me open my camera so y'all can see. Yes, I know. I need to just do inventory before I go to the store. So I'm going to feed my pipe cleaner through. Just like so. And then I don't like to struggle at all, y'all. So I'm going to use my wreath needle right here. Just going to feed it. I could have gotten it, but I just like to feed it and not have to sit here and struggle. So I'm just going straight through the mesh so I have a little extra stability, just like that. And then once I get it through, I'll straighten it up. I'm going to twist it lightly just so I don't lose my place with where I had it. Okay, I didn't pull it tight yet. All right, and then I want it here. So let me check it again. I may have to come down just a little. That might still work. Let me move my bow over. We worked hard on that bow, didn't we? All right. After we add our sign, we're going to add just a few embellishments. We'll see how we want to embellish. So really, once you get your base done, you get your ribbons added, it goes pretty quick. I was telling my private group that I tend to go pretty fast if it's just me, but I notice when I'm teaching and talking sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, but I'm having fun with y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying it too. All right, y'all, I think I let this one go before I fed it all the way and I can't feel it. So let me feed it one more time. Okay. So let's see. Let's feed it in just like that. And I'm trying to do it with one hand, not letting go of the other end. There we go. All right, I got it now. So let's pull it in just like that. And lift it back up. And then I'm making sure on the back side that it's wrapped around the bar. I'm going to give it just a couple of twists and I'm going to check it out and see if I like its placement. All right, let's take our clip off. All right, and then I like to check my mesh, make sure everything is still fluffed out and up the way that I like it to be. I want my sign to have some support there. All right, so far that looks good. So let's see now about our bow. So I think I want to place my bow right there where we have that red piece of mesh. That's where I'm aiming for. So I'm going to turn it so I can see what I'm doing. And then we'll check it. All right, so I'm going to go right down in here. I like feeding it through the mesh just to give it a little bit of stability here. We'll fix the bow back up if it gets the loops like folded or anything. All right, got the first one. Let me turn it this way so I can see the other pipe cleaner, which is over here. All right. So let's feed this one down, just like so. And what I love is once you add your mesh, your ribbon, you don't have to do a bow. You don't have to do a sign. It adds on a little bit extra if you do. But really and truly, you could stop right there. All right, let's see if this is where I want it. I'm going to start slowly twisting it, and then I'm going to check everything, okay? So I like to give it just a couple of twists while I check it. Get my sign back up there just like I had it. I'm going to fix this piece of mesh too, because this was on the other end of that roll. So all I'm doing is adding a little bit of glue to the very end, and I'm going to seal it so it stays on that edge. My glue is on low temp, so it's not going to burn me there. And then now I can start to fluff out the bow. So I like to make sure my tails are coming down the way that I want. And then we already fluffed it, but I'm going to just reopen those layers just like so and just like so. I start from the bottom and I go back in the order of how I made everything. So I know I had my green in between my two bottom loops. Make sure everything is still fluffed and open the way that I want. Okay. Then we added that gorgeous polka dot. So let's check the layers on it. And if you do a really good job of twisting, you can fluff it just like so without any problems. Okay. So I'm touching each of those layers again, moving things around if I need them to be in a different spot. Remember that linen, it didn't have a whole lot of shape, so I'm helping it have a little bit of shape here. I'm going to arch this out and arch this one out just like so. And then this is going to be just a little loop in the center. And then let's go ahead and dovetail this one just like so. And then now I can pull them down like that. All right, what do y'all think? How did we do with our bow? So the last thing we're going to do is let's add a few embellishments. Let me open the camera so you can see what we have at this point. I think I'm going to trim this just a smidge, but I won't do it yet. I'm going to wait until I hang it on the door just to make sure it looks the way I want it to look. And I can play with the bow all night, y'all. So I will finish getting that fluffed exactly the way I want when I hang it on the door. But yeah, I think it's looking gorgeous. What do y'all think? Okay, so now let's add a few little embellishments. Let's see how we want to embellish. So I found some cute little picks. Let's see. And I don't know which ones we're going to use yet. Let me look. So when I actually placed an order with Craft Outlet, and they had these little Christmas trees on the pick. They also had the little like swirls, the circle. So I thought maybe we might add in a couple of the trees, the cookies, because I think that would support our theme nicely. They had these cookies. These are some gingerbread. Let's see which one. I think this one was like the snowflake cookies. I thought maybe we might add some snowflake cookies and maybe the Christmas trees. Maybe. We'll see. And then I don't know if I want to use these for shorts or not and how we're going to do it. But look at what I found at Hobby Lobby tonight. They were in the little ornament section, and it was the little spoons. And I guess that's like the little cookie dough on it. with the little cute little bow. Thank you all. So I thought maybe we might embellish. I don't know. We might just put it on our sign. I don't know where we're going to put it yet. So I have to kind of start playing with it to see. And then they had these in the little miniature tree ornament section, the little gingerbreads. And these were on the little ornament. So these were Hobby Lobby as well. So I just picked up a few things that kind of hit my eye. A lot of times when I'm designing, I don't use everything, but I like to have the options. So I'm just showing y'all the options and what we might add. So I'm going to keep it kind of over here on the side. And then I've had these for a while. I don't know if I want to use it in here or not because I had another idea. I thought I was going to use it in a centerpiece, but I found these at Walmart maybe last year or the year before. And I think they're definitely cute, but I know I want to use one of the cookies. I don't want to have a lot of things sticking out, but we're going to see. So let's just kind of go with it. All right, so I have everything on the table back here. I left the things that I think I definitely want to use for sure. Let's see how it looks with maybe one of the Christmas trees. And I'm also looking at the color too. Not that it matters, but you know, I'm matching up with that jute. So let me see kind of where my brain's headed here. I feel like for some reason, I like the Christmas tree. There are 3 on here. These are Craft Outlet. So let's just kind of see. And I'm going to try to keep it all together. So I'm going to use my wire cutters here. I'm just going to cut it about right here. Actually, let me go ahead and cut it off down to here first to see. And we can fluff it out. Give it some love. Now it has the tree already turned, but you can turn it however you want. But I'm kind of thinking that I like to alternate. So if I add this in, and I don't need the stem to be this long, so I'm going to cut some of this down now. Just like so. But what if we added like a tree here? I'm just finding a spot to see if I like it first. So we're not going to glue it in yet. And see how that's elongating the wreath even a little bit more. You can even lift it because it is on wire. So you can lift it, make it do what you want it to do. And let's see, we have 3 of these. So maybe we mix. Let's see. And I really think I want to alternate. Y'all like these? And everything is on wire here, so that's good. So I'm just going to trim off one before we start trimming them all off because I don't like to cut all my picks apart. And then if I don't use them all, then I have to figure out how I'm going to store these things. And usually I just add them back to the bag. But anyway, all right, so what if we do every other one? I'm going to alternate. So we put like one of the snowflake cookies here in this general area right there. Just like so. Like that. I think I'm going to make that stem a little longer next time because I want to keep to my perimeter. I'm watching my border there. All right, and then if I go back to a tree, let's cut the next tree. This one, if you can see, it has all that wire that's covered with that paper and that hard stem. So I'm going to just use that to kind of help support what I started. So I'm doing every other one. So that would put me back right here with the cookie coming out of the back. So let's fluff it. And I kind of like how I have it angled up. Just like that. Because you can make it do what you want it to do. Oh, y'all, look at that. I love that. I'm going to bring that one down just a little bit. Definitely going to make that longer. Let me, what did I do with the rest of it? I kept it. I'm just going to add a pick to it. You could just take the end of it and wrap it back, but let me just save time and add a pick to it real quick because I cut it a little shorter than I want it to. So that way I can get some length back on it. All right, so let's put it back right there. There we go. I want it to extend out because I'm watching my perimeter there. Okay, and then now we're back to gingerbread. Cookie, let's do a square this time. We can alternate or we can keep them the same. It's totally up to you. Y'all, this is how we do when we're designing, and that's the part that I love. All right, so let's go in here. Right where that natural is. And I'm just pushing it through where that pine is, just like that. And then guess what? We have enough to do, let's see, one more. So let's do one more. What do y'all think? Y'all like those trees like that? I'm going to bring this one in a little so I can trim this one down. It's amazing how you can see the overall picture coming together. Just like that. I'm just going right there. Yep, there we go. I like that better. Okay. And then I'm putting it where the ribbon is, but because we had, let me check one more time, y'all. Making sure, yep. Because we had that odd number, that's what's happening here. So I think what I'm going to do is end right here. So let's put our last tree right there. Hey, Miss Kathy, you made it. How are you? Look at what we're making tonight. We are embellishing and adding our last little bit of decoration to our gorgeous wreath. I'm so happy you're here. And everyone else who is here, thank y'all so much. Wow. Truly amazing, y'all. I'm just cutting this tag off. It was stuck. After I cut it close, it was still a little bit left. I definitely love this. This is gorgeous. All right, I got it all. There we go. All right, but here's what happened. Some of it started to come off of that paper. I'm just going to pick it again. You could wrap it. So I'm just going back here to my other table. Adding that pick right there. Just like so. Let me do it again. My little ball fell off. I had to grab it. Where is it? All right, I got to do it again, y'all. There we go. Okay, so let's fluff it up. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Yes, ma'am, I'm doing well. And then we're just going to end right here. Just like that. And then I've been angling my trees a little bit, giving them a little height. And that's the thing. You don't want to have like everything at the same level. You can give it dimension. I'm going to push that one in just a little bit more. Just like that. All right, y'all like it? So let's commit. Let's do it. And then I want this one to come in just a smidge. So I'm going to trim just a little bit of this one off. Just like that. So as I'm checking everything, I can see exactly where I want it to be. All right, let's do it, y'all. Now, one thing you can do is you could just insert your glue gun right here because you've already added your stem, and then I like to wiggle it in just to make sure that it's on the glue the way that I want. That's one way to do it. You could also just pull your stem out. So let me zoom you in right here. You could pull your stem back out, add your glue to the end. I usually add it to both sides and then just reinsert it. And I like to go through the pine, making sure it has something to hook onto. And as I'm inserting it, thanks, Miss Betty, I'm watching my perimeter, making sure it's lining up with everything going around. Okay? What do y'all think about that? Okay, so let's do the gluing because I worked hard to get these exactly where I want them. So I'm looking to see where those stems are, and I just inserted my glue right there, just like so, and I'm just wiggling it in, making sure it's touching that glue. I'll fix my tails back again in just a minute. All right, let's do this side. So we're right here. These, I don't mind pulling them out, inserting them. They're smaller. And I'm going right back in through all that pine, all that goodness, that mesh. That's giving us something to hold on to as we're adding it. Just like that. And I just wiggle it in just to make sure it stays. And I'm going to lift my bow tail and do the same thing. I see the stem. I'm adding the glue right there on the stem. And I'm wiggling it in. That mesh is going to adhere as well to that glue. So it's just giving us a nice little foundation. Just like that. All right. Now, I said I was going to add something else, didn't I? Let's see. We had our little spoon. I kind of want to put this on the sign for some reason. I kind of feel like adding one of those to the sign. We could tie them in. If we wanted, we could add them. Let's see how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have exactly 4. We could tie them in. We could glue them in. We could alternate and put little gingerbread ornaments. So let's just see how these ornaments are on here. Looks like they have string. So I'm going to take the tape. I'm going to cut the string, but I just want to see what the string looks like, for example. So they're on a little string like this. So we could almost, let's see what we can do. Let me zoom in for just a second. So we could almost tie the ornament in and have it kind of hanging like that so you could see it. Let's just try it, y'all. So I'm going to use the twist tie that's already there. And I'm going to string it around first. This is my first time doing it, y'all, so I'm just trying. So I'm using the string that's already there, and I'm kind of looping it around and around until it hangs at about the length that I want it to hang. I don't want a lot of the string to show, just a little bit. And then we might add a little glue so it stays. But I don't want it tucked way up into the wreath. So I just kind of went around and around that stem, the tinsel, until I got the gingerbread exactly where I wanted it. And look, I think I kind of like it hanging. Now, I am going to add a little bit of glue because I know that depending upon how the wreath is hanging, it's not going to stay. But let me hold up the wreath so y'all can see that. Can you see what I did? So I just took it and I went around and around that pine right there. And then look, it's kind of hanging right there. So I think what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue to its back. And you probably could just do that anyway. You don't have to do the stringing part. But I just wanted it to kind of hang a little. And then I'm going to press it down on the mesh so it stays right there. I hope so, Steve, with me adding the glue. So that's why I'm adding the glue too. Because at first I was thinking, you know, I want to hang it, but then it's not going to dangle right upward at the top. So really and truly, we probably can just use that glue. And I think that's what I'm going to do for the rest. So yeah, that was my idea at first. I wanted them to dangle, but then I thought about it. I said, you know what? When I go up, they're not going to do what I want them to do. So now I just add a little bit of glue and look, it's not moving at all. All right, so let's alternate. So we have the spoon. Let's do the spoon that same way. So I'm going to create like a little base. I think I'm going to put the spoon on that mesh, that pine right there. I think I'm going to have to go get some more of these little spoons. So I'm not going to use the string. Now the spoons have a loop, so I could wire it in. I could zip tie it in. But I think I'm just going to add the glue right there and glue it right to that pine. So let's put some glue on the back, a generous amount. And then I'm going to press it right there on that pine, pressing it in, not pressing it on my hand, of course, but I want to get it right there on there. And I'm putting it in the middle so it'll hang in between the two tails here, like the sides of the tails. And look at how cute that looks. So guess what? This is why I'm also glad I did not do the half bows, because I was going to do half bows, but I wasn't sure because I knew I was going to embellish. So look at that. Isn't that precious right there? Let me hold it up so y'all can see. So I just added it right there. Look at there. Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing? All right, so let's alternate. Let's do a gingerbread ornament. So we're not using the string. We're just going to glue. All right, and it looks like we have the green bow, the red bow. So let's do a red bow this time. So I'm cutting the string now that we know how we're doing it. And I'm just going to add the glue. I'm going to put a little bit to the head and the back. Thank you. So I'm just putting just a little bit like that. And I'm just going to press it where I want it to sit. I want it right there in the middle. So I'm putting it on the mesh, just like that, where you can see it. I like those spoons too, Kat. I'm going to have to go back and get some more of those. Those are cute. So just pressing it right there. Let me show you what this one looks like. So see, it's hanging out just enough to where you can see it. I love little details like that. All right, and then we have one more left to do. So that means we get to add one more spoon. So let's cut our spoon from the little string. Now I didn't look. Let's see what the other choices were. We can go dark. Let's see. Let's mix it. Let's do a dark. That way we'll have one of each. I love it. It's like it's some cookie dough or something. I love it. No, I just had a moment, Kat and Steve. I just realized y'all are having dinner watching me the way that I used to watch y'all. I love it. And I'm going to put it right here on that pine, right there in the middle. So just like we would use our pipe cleaner, it's sitting right there in the middle, just like so. And I'm just pressing it right on there so it has a nice little surface. And it sets up pretty quickly. I did leave it on low, and you can see it's already adhered. And y'all, I think I am done. Let's open the camera and let's check it out and see how we did. Let's flip our bow back out. How do y'all think we did? Oh my gosh. Y'all, I am so amazed because this looks even better than what I pictured in my head. Oh my goodness. So here is our completed wreath. Let me clean up my little mess from where I had my trash can covered. Y'all have any questions? What do y'all think? How did we do? So remember, we started with the 18-inch and it was not fluffed when we first started. So I'll show that one more time. For those who are just coming in, you'll have to go back and see the full replay. But look, this was the before. Look at there. Y'all remember that puny looking wreath? This is what we started with. And look at how gorgeous and full it looks. Let's do our final measurement. We're sitting at roughly 24 inches. Some of the tails are hitting almost the 25 mark. So I'm going to claim 24 inches, y'all. We made a 24-inch wreath with this 18-inch. Mama, you're still there. Hey, thank you. Oh, thank you, Linda. So this is what we created today. I hope y'all enjoyed this. All right, let's go back and chat for just a minute because I want to make sure if there are any questions, if there's anything that we have not covered yet. I want to make sure we have a few moments for questions. All right, y'all, how did we do? I had so much fun making this wreath. Let me hold it up so y'all can see it. And I will get some pictures and I'll post that on Kat's page so y'all can see it. I'll also post it on YouTube for you all. So let me make sure I'm holding it the right way. Always have to look in the camera. So how did we do, y'all? And we'll get pictures taken of it. But yeah, this one I think is super cute. Absolutely love it. There we go. So this is our final project. And as Kat said, you cannot tell that we put it on an evergreen base at all. So what questions do you all have? Again, I thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. I invite you to stay connected. I think the link should still be in the comments. faithslinks.com is the one link that you need if you want to stay connected with me. I invite you to follow me on Facebook at ATO Faith. I would love to have you follow us on YouTube. We're working towards getting our 2,000 subscribers. We reached 1,000 this year. I was so thankful for that. And so right now we're doing a Sprinkle the Channel challenge, and I'm looking forward to seeing who all will hop over and join us on YouTube. Let me see if I can grab that link for us while we're here, if we have another moment. I'm also doing a giveaway for Christmas. If you want to enter that giveaway, this is the wreath that we're giving away. We made that on our live Tuesday. The link for the giveaway is right there on faithslinks.com. I made it super simple for you to access. So if you're interested in that giveaway, make sure you hop on over. And I would love to have you all participate in our giveaway. All right, let's see if there's anything else. I'm going to grab the link really quick for our YouTube channel. And then if you want to become a part of my community on Facebook, you can go to learnfromfaith.com. I would love to have you. We have an awesome community, and I'm just so thankful for the Lord allowing me to have my own community. That's not anything that I ever desired to have at all, but the Lord chose to send me some beautiful ladies my way, and gentlemen. So if you're interested in that, you can go to learnfromfaith.com, find out all the information is right there. Oh, thank you, Valerie. I look forward to it. I love that, Kat. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed being here tonight as a guest designer on Kat's Creations. And this has been truly an honor, and I would say a dream come true. So thank you, Kat. I love you so much, and I really do value you and Steve and all of the hard work that you've put into this for so many others like us. So thank you. All right, let's see if there's anything else. We do go live on my page on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm probably going to take tomorrow off since I was live tonight. So come back on Tuesday on the A Touch of Faith Facebook page. I'm sure Kat probably will drop that link if she hasn't already done so. You can find it at faithlinks.com. It's also my page with the pinned message. You can just click that right now. And I'd love to have you as a part of our faith family. I love creating beautiful creations that bring you joy, faith, inspiration, and I love sharing my creativity with you. So we go live every Tuesday and Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I would love to have you all as a part of our community. So enter my giveaway. We're giving away this wreath on Tuesday. So if you enter today, you can enter every single day. The more you enter, the more chances you have of being the blessed owner of that wreath. And we are giving it away live on Tuesday. So if you want to find out who will receive that beautiful wreath for Christmas, you want to come on over to the A Touch of Faith page on Facebook and YouTube on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to bless someone again this year. This is our 6th year doing our Christmas giveaway, and I'm so thankful to be able to do that. That's my way of giving back to you all. All right. Anything else? Did I forget anything, Mom? Anyone? I think I remembered everything. Oh, thank you, Kat. That means so much to me. Okay. I think I've said everything. So I'll be back on Kat's page next month. I look forward to it. Again, this has been truly an honor, a blessing. And we created such a beautiful design tonight. So let me show it to you one more time. Here's our gorgeous piece for tonight. And y'all, this one's already sold. So if you're interested in one, just comment the word sold followed by wreath, and I'll create something beautiful that's just for you. I love telling my audience on Facebook and YouTube, my faith family, go out and look for something good, because when you find something good, you know you have found God. And remember, God's got me, God's got you, and we've got this. We can do it. Have an amazing night. I will see you all next month. I love you all. Good night, everyone.